This is the Nothing Happening Project. Nothing will happen if you've never been here before. Hey, Bertha, how are you? You will be in for a treat of your own making, truly. My name is Jeff. I'm your host, and this is the community. These are the people. This is Sandra Zinn, Oh, the Humanity, and Paul, and Michelle, Diana, Eddie, Simone. So, yeah, we've been. Oh, Paul says, let's do a meditation for being sad and mad. Okay, we're gonna do sad and mad's gonna happen in this meditation. Don't even actually know. I haven't followed the news in the past 24 hours. So if that's a reference to something that's happened in 24 hours, I don't know what it is. Um, if it's something to do with Iran, I was following that 36 hours ago. But parenting has a way of parenting littles has a way of sucking you away from the news cycle happily. Thank you for asking, Marjorie. How's the aquarium? It was, in all honesty, one of the coolest events I have ever done. So I did this event. It was a fundraiser for a group called Hollyhock, which is at a gorgeous retreat center in the west coast of Canada on Cortes Island. That I'll be doing a thing there in May. Highly recommended. Just visit there sometime because that part of the world is so crazy beautiful. And they were asked me to help them just to for the fundraiser to kind of host it. And they have a friendship with the Vancouver Aquarium. So it was basically um, after the aquarium closed. So all the kids were gone, all the noise, but there was only like 40 of us. And we all arrived there. And I kind of set it up and I just did a little fairly short sitting meditation just to kind of get everybody settled. But the main part of it was wandering this incredible aquarium in the silence at night with no one around and these vivid color, the kind of electric blue backgrounds with jellyfish and octopus and anacondas and waving sea urchins, and it was super psychedelic. And you think about it. I mean, for me, anytime I've ever been to an aquarium or anywhere now with my kids, it's like my experience of each display is like it's like, oh, I just see it as I'm being dragged by. Oh, something's over there. I don't even know what it was. This was slow, linger, just spend, and you're in the zone because you just meditated. So people loved it. If anyone here was there, you could report on. A few people were. Malaya was there, and uh, who else was there? There's oh my gosh. Anyway, a few people were there, and it was so. I think it was so. I know it's a West Coast thing. So, but if you're in local, I think we're gonna do. I was saying we should try to do it again, like more on the regular, like a few times a year, because it's just such a interesting and fun experience. So, and it's kind of like the one I'm going to do in Hollyhock is going to be. I like That's why I like doing meditation retreats in nature because you just get so much more time to get kind of primed and settled, and you can really appreciate what's there. Um, Ruth was there. Yeah, Ruth has some good pictures. Hey, Andrew, good to see you. Um, yeah, snorkeling meditation is next. Thank you. But I was thinking of getting my Patty open water is long ago expired, but apparently the scuba diving around here in BC is some of the best in the world. So that could happen. Yeah. hmm Anyway, welcome. If you've never been here before, this is what it's like. A lot of people here who've been with me for years and years. We do. It's very welcoming community, so you're welcome to say hi in the chat there. The basic structure is after these few words of introduction, I will guide a very lightly guided 25-minute meditation. And I like to say that you can use that time whatever way you need to kind of unplug. For some people, I think it's formal meditation and has the feeling of that, and for others, I think it's maybe more along the lines of just relaxing and laying on your back or looking at the window, or even having it on as you're kind of meditatively doing some chores around the house, or whatever you need. But I do think there are certain skills you could say that are being cultivated regardless. At least that's the intention and the guidance to sort of orient people to these very simple human universals, around what is the deep value of pausing in the middle of an active life, and how do we do that? And um, because it's very easy to say, "Oh, I'm going to pause," and then you're just like thinking about the same problems that you do in your day and fighting with the same battles. You're just doing it the still version of it, and of course that always happens as part of a practice, but it's about beginning to not feed that, to kind of notice that's happening, to kind of pop out of it, and also even more profoundly uh, to sort of orient ourselves to our life in a more open way, um, to see. I like maybe a fancier. I don't know. Maybe this is not a good way to describe it, but I kind of think of it as like synchronizing with the present moment. You're like so often, it, so often it's like there's like mind, body, world, and they're like these three different things that are like not lined up. My body's tired, but my mind is racing. My mind's they're not in sync. And then the mind is my mind's racing, my body's tired, and the world is doing this thing over here. And it's like they're totally out of sync. And the more I kind of sit, the more it's sort of like zoom, 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 zoom. All three, think about it, boom, boom, boom. It's like world, body, mind. And what do I mean by that? Meaning your mind slows down to the pace of your body, and to be where your body, which is in the world, and your world slows down enough to be genuinely, and the body slows down enough to be genuinely present with the world, with what's happening in the senses, with the pace of things. You're taking your cues from what's around you instead of only your cues from inside you. And oh my God, what a relief, to be just for a short period to get a little bit liberated from the exhausting agenda of the part of you trying to keep it all together, the kind of impossible job for any mind. So it's sort of this opportunity to kind of like come out from that. And of course, what contemplatives describe in so many different ways in so many different traditions is when you come down and out of that and rest in life that way and synchronize in that way, there's a quality of connection and intimacy and belonging and safety that is present. That you could say it's always there. It just gets covered over by the details of our conditioning and our histories and our anxieties. So we kind of practice coming out of that, all of which is a quite grandiose way of saying that we don't really do anything. And so you could get the bar is going to be pretty low. Uh, and if you can't slow your brain down tonight, like Rihanna is saying right here, not to worry at all. That's what's so interesting. Just having the intention to be present with what's here can be its own kind of medicine. And sometimes it has a slowing down effect on the mind, but other times it's more like what you needed was to hear that it's okay to be where you are. I mean, that's of course one of the other big insights from practice is, there's the busy mind, and then there's all the ways in which we're fighting with that. We're wrestling with scenarios. We don't want to be here for this. We want this. It's like all this exaggerated feedback around what's happening in the mind. That is what causes uh, so much of the challenge. But if you can just be like, okay, I'm actually just going to let the mind be there doing its thing in the background. I'm not going to necessarily believe the different stories coming out of it, but I'm not going to make it a problem. Then a lot of that extra layer of stuff around it can just kind of settle. And that is, hugely valuable too. Sometimes that's the best we can do. Uh, anyway, no best, no worst here. Um, let's do it, friends. Feedback freakouts. It Saunders in. Yeah, yeah. All right, let's do it. So we got 5:13, 25 minutes. So my 5:13 my time, Pacific time. Um, if you're in a different time zone, or if you're watching it later, welcome. Good to have you here as well. They all get archived on Substack and I think on YouTube as well. Oh, I'm supposed to mention um, the this is happens every week. There is also Homebase Hangout, which is sort of a more intimate version of this, where we do it over Zoom and part practice and part uh, actually responding to people's queries about practice in real time and more face-to-face sharing. And that's something that is also part of the Substack home-based community. So at that, I think for paid subscribers, I mean, it is so you can, if you're interested in that, but also for any of these, you just ask me and you can just come. So that's there too. And then there's a chat for this too that starts early for those who like that part of the community. Here we go. Well, the Hangouts are recorded and archived in the community practice area too. So you can do the meditations after and hear the questions and all that. Okay, so we're going to do a little practice now. So as always, you can, adapt it for your situation, your circumstance. If you want to be lying down or sitting or however you need to organize yourself. If you got lots of energy, you could stretch slowly. You can do the kind of the joint clearing, qigong shaking. I often do that at the beginning of a sit just to kind of, get some energy out. Your eyes can be open or closed. It's up to you. If you never tried eyes open, it's worth exploring once in a while. Some people find it's only when they finally try eyes open they realize how much thinking they'd been having before that cools out with the eyes open. Eyes closed can lead to more rumination for some people. Not that that's a big problem, but eyes open, the kind of world's flooding in, the light kind of can keep you present. And then, of course, if you do go eyes open, what I would recommend is that you kind of let your gaze be really broad and sort of soft. So you're kind of looking through things and you're kind of aware of the big space of awareness. And it's a way to kind of connect the big open space of mind. Tasha likes guiding that way. It's really cool. I might offer a prompter on that later. Um, anyway, a few slow, deliberate breaths. As you breathe out, you can be deliberate about letting go of a bit of tension. So softening the forehead and the cheeks and shoulders, and then letting the hands be loose on your lap or on your knees. Soft through the front too. Notice if the belly is, or sometimes the front of the body is kind of bracing, you're rigid, or you're straining to hold yourself in a particular direction or to block some disruptive sounds in your environment. Instead, just everything gets very permeable. So can you breathe out so much? Not only do you arrive a little more firmly in your seat, but you let go so much that you can kind of feel your skin a little more. Like, or the warmth in the body, if that sounds too creepy. anytime in the practice, if the mind is really running off, you can kind of come back to this intention just to get a little bit more relaxed. Kind of that's the base of our meditation pyramid, relaxation. There's super busyness in the mind. It's because there's probably there could be more relaxation in the body a bit. And it's always just, relatively. So if you're just joining us, we're just getting started. I hope with the settling, lots of people like just choosing a simple home base. Instead of paying attention to your thoughts, you just feeling the breath at your nose or in your belly or anywhere along there. Or maybe you're feeling the warmth of your hands or you're listening to a heater in your house. Or repeating a phrase in your head, anything. Just something to help settle the mind. And how patient can you be as that process unfolds? Good. So I'm nice and patient. And it takes a while to sometimes get settled. Your mind's like, what am I doing? You're still thinking about this or what's happening or it's not working. And it is. It's just you're sitting and being and practicing finding something about the lack of anything happening to be kind of satisfying. That's the art, which is profound. You don't need things to be a specific way or some this or that to be happening in order to find a baseline of a sort of existential contentment, at least for a few moments anyway. The protected time of this practice.
Good. So everything is permitted in this big space of awareness. There's sounds, sensations, thoughts. There's no need to kind of create a hierarchy out of it. It's all just things that are happening in this big open space. Even your own self consciousness is part of that. And if you can notice the thing, you're not that thing. You're something broader, bigger, more fundamental. So, can you really have that framing of not needing to take anything that's happening in experience personally, letting it all just update and change and sometimes stay the same? Still, you're here, just being with it. Nice. So, in the last few minutes, if you're, you know, motivated or curious about it, could be an opportunity to deliberately cultivate some positive, nurturing, some positive quality like gratitude or compassion, appreciation, loving kindness, sympathetic joy, or just equanimity. These are among what are called the Brahma Viharas in Buddhism, different divine abodes. In other words, just great states of mind to live inside. So it might just be as simple as thinking about just feeling appreciation for what you're grateful for, people in your life or some aspect of your current environment. Could be you're deliberately sending some compassion to someone, or you're thinking about someone you know who's happy and appreciating that for them. Different trainings, cultivations. And part of the meditation is, welcoming all the things that comes up, because the stuff can come up too. All right, friends. A rousing edition of nothing happening. May it continue to electrify your Substack feeds. Nice, Monica. Thanks. I'm happy to hear it. Thanks, Randy. Andrew, good to see you, friend. Paul, Sophia. Nice, Eddie. Pass the pizza. Santana, Sheila, Tamara, good to see you. Beth, Christina, TKLHR, Joe and Rhiannon. Hope that was okay for you, Rhiannon. Kay, nice to see you. And Brooke, Sheila, Beth. Everyone, really nice to be here with you all.
It's kind of pretty peaceful for me. Papa G says he's going to go shovel some more. I won't show you my view on the West Coast. I feel too guilty. Good to see you, Bob. Hey, Patrice. Marion. Yeah, faux winter. Exactly. Oh, so true, Sandra. Easier said than done, right? Olivia, nice to see you. Hey, Joe. Athena. That could be true, Athena. Nice, Bertha. I hope it sustains you through the week. Yeah, that was good. It's not good for me too. All right, friends. Well, I'm gonna go and do some parenting. Appreciate all of you. Appreciate you too, Leanne. Let's see what we got here. Oh yeah, Bing appreciates the trying out the eyes open. Yeah, you see what it's like. I mean, you never know. It's so interesting. You'd be sitting a while and you change one thing in your technique, and all of a sudden you're like, why hadn't I done this before? Just helps you get that much more, settled or whatever it is you're after. Oh, nice, Dia. Well, good to meet you here. Since COVID, that's around the time I started working with Calm. I was making those Calm meditations while trying to deal with two young children and COVID. It was madness. Um, nice. All right. So, what's happening? Any other announcements? I don't think so. Okay. I'll see you next Sunday. Have a good night, everyone. Yeah, plaid blanket just for you, Deborah.